I stood in a cramped school locker, holding my breath. I could hear his footsteps an inch from the door. Slow ones. Methodical. Pavel Grigorievich, the mathematics teacher, was walking down the corridor looking for me. Only one problem. He died 10 years ago in a fire at the school. And I broke rule number 3. But let's start from the beginning. I'm 21 years old, I'm a third-year student, and I urgently needed money for a session. When I saw an ad for a night shift of security guards at middle school number 17 for $15,000 in one night, I called without hesitation. The director said only one thing: come at 10 in the evening. The previous guard will meet you. I arrived at 10 o'clock sharp. The school looked ordinary, a 3-story Soviet building with peeling yellow paint. Sergei, the security guard, met me. He was about 50 years old, and he looked like he hadn't slept in a week. His hands were shaking as he handed me the uniform and a bunch of keys. Listen carefully, he whispered, looking back at the dark windows of the school. Here's a list of rules. Read them every hour. Don't deviate. Not for a second. He handed me a crumpled notebook sheet covered with shaky handwriting. I tried to laugh. Really? Are there any rules? It's just a school. Sergei grabbed my shoulder. His eyes were wild. It's not just school after midnight. Promise me you'll follow the rules. Okay, I pulled away. I promise. He didn't even wait for the end of my shift. He jumped into the car and drove away so fast that the tires screeched on the asphalt. I was left alone under the buzzing light at the entrance. He opened the list. 7 rules written in blue ink. Rule 1. If you hear children's laughter and the sound of a basketball in the gym after 2 o'clock, immediately turn on the music in the security room. Don't check the sound source. Rule 2. There is an anatomical dummy in the biology room, classroom 47, 3rd floor. Never look at it for more than 5 seconds. He changes positions when you're not looking. Rule 3. If you meet Pavel Grigorievich, a mathematics teacher, in the hallway, run and hide. He died in 2015. Don't talk to him. Rule 4. Go around the school every 30 minutes. Always keep your flashlight on. The darkness attracts them. Rule 5. Don't open the basement door, even if you hear a knock from inside. Rule 6. If all the clocks at school stop at 3:33 at the same time, stand still for exactly 1 minute. Don't breathe loudly. Rule 7. Has been deleted. Someone had written on top in red ink, "It's getting late." I put the list in my uniform pocket and entered the school. The long hallway on the 1st floor greeted me with the hum of fluorescent lights, the smell of chalk, old textbooks, and something sour. The empty classrooms with their doors ajar looked like black holes. These were ideal liminal spaces, places that should be full of life, children's laughter and footsteps. But now there was only silence and the echo of my footsteps. The first 3 hours passed quietly. I did my rounds, checked the doors, and had coffee in the security room on the ground floor. The school was empty and quiet. I was already starting to think that Sergei had just gone crazy from loneliness. At 1:58, I passed by the gym on the 2nd floor. The huge double doors were closed. I stopped, checking the time on my phone. It was supposed to start in 2 minutes. What exactly? At exactly 2:03, I heard it. Children's laughter. It was loud and joyful, as if the whole class was playing in the gym. Then there's the distinctive sound of a basketball bouncing off the floor. Bam, bam, bam. My heart started beating faster. I took out the list of rules with trembling hands. Turn on the music. Don't check it. Logic screamed at me that this was impossible. There's no one at the school. I checked all the doors, but the laughter continued. And the sound of the ball. It's getting louder. My hand reached for the gym door handle. Just looking in. Just for a second. But at the last moment, I remembered Sergei's crazy eyes. He turned around and ran to the security guard. I turned on the old tape recorder to the maximum. The Soviet bandstand filled the corridors. The sounds from the gym stopped instantly. It's like they never existed. At 2:47, I had to make my rounds. 3rd floor. I climbed the stairs, and every step creaked under my feet. The corridor on the 3rd floor was longer and darker. Half of the lamps were not working. Class 47. Biology. I needed coffee, and the coffee maker was right there. The biology teacher allowed the guards to use it. I opened the door. The mannequin was standing in the corner by the window. A full-length anatomical model of a human with visible muscles, organs, and nerves. His empty eye socket stared at the board. I remembered the rule. 5 seconds. He looked away, counting in his mind. I turned on the coffee maker, looking out the window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He turned around. The mannequin was standing in the same position. I breathed out a sigh of relief. He started pouring coffee, the sound of creaking behind my back. I turned around slowly. The mannequin was now standing sideways. His right hand was raised as if he was pointing at something. I remembered exactly, a minute ago, both hands were down. The cup fell out of my hands and broke. I ran out of the classroom without looking back. At 3:15, I was walking around the first floor. I tried to breathe evenly, to convince myself that it was just a coincidence. An old mannequin on hinges. Draft. A logical explanation. That's when I saw him. There was a man standing at the end of the corridor. 3-piece suit, glasses, gray hair. He was standing with his back to me, absolutely motionless, in front of the door of the mathematics room. "I'm sorry," I shouted. "The school is closed." "How did you?" He slowly turned around. His face was gray. Not pale, but gray like ashes. The eyes are empty, black holes. He took a step towards me. Rule number 3 hit me like a bolt of lightning. Pavel Grigorievich, a math teacher. He died 10 years ago. I ran. I could hear his footsteps behind me. Slow, but relentless. He took his time. He knew I wasn't going anywhere. The school was locked, and all the exits were locked from the inside. I darted into a side hallway where there were rows of old metal lockers for students. He yanked one open and squeezed inside. He slammed the door, leaving a tiny crack. Darkness. It's cramped. It smelled of rust and old sweat. I put my hand over my mouth, trying to breathe silently. The footsteps were getting closer. Gradually. Clearly. The creak of leather boots on linoleum. He stopped right by my locker. I could see his trousers through the gap. Gray. An inch from the door. I could hear him breathing. It was hoarse, as if there was water in his lungs. The minute lasted forever. Then another sound. The screech of metal. The creaking of hinges. Someone else was walking down the corridor. I squinted through the crack. A mannequin from the biology room. He walked with a strange, jerky gait, like a puppet on ropes. His anatomical muscles contracted with a dry crack. He stopped next to the teacher. The two of them were standing by my locker, motionless. It was as if they were waiting for me to break down and scream. I closed my eyes. I counted the seconds. 100, 200, 500. When I opened them, they were gone. I sat in my locker until 6 in the morning, when the alarm on my phone rang, the end of the shift. He got out on shaky legs. The hallway was empty. Morning light filtered through the windows. I ran out of school without even handing in my uniform. The director called me for 3 days, offering a double rate. I didn't pick up the phone. A week later, I found out from the news. The new guard was found in the morning in the biology room. He was sitting on the floor, staring at the mannequin. He didn't blink. He didn't say. He was taken to a psychiatric hospital. I still keep that crumpled list of rules. Sometimes I take out and reread the 7th rule, which was crossed out. I wonder what was written there. And who wrote in red, "It's getting late"? Some rules exist for a reason. They are written in the blood of those who violated them. Would you be able to last the whole night following these instructions? Or would curiosity get the better of me? Write in the comments, which rule would you break first?